Alright, what up YouTube? It's Poop Dog here. I'm showing you which BBs to use for which certain type of guns and just tips of what will do you the best. So to start off right here, we have 12 gram yellow BBs. These ones are premium grade Airsoft BBs. They're not bad for airsoft guns like 250 FPS and below, because low powered FPS airsoft rifles or pistols, it doesn't really matter which BBs you use. Usually with low FPS airsoft guns, you don't want to use 20 gram BBs because technically you're just wasting money, because these will not shoot as far as 12 gram BBs. Usually they'll just shoot a couple feet and drop down. What you want to use for 250 FPS guns that are lower are 12 gram BBs, especially automatic 250 FPS guns, because they actually shoot pretty straight with low powered FPS guns. But for weapons, 250 FPS, or I'd say like 270 FPS or over, actually no, I'd say 290 FPS or over, I would use 20 grams, because usually for high-powered FPS guns, 12 grams are just going to curve because of all the power it has. It'll curve the BB, and you will probably miss your target unless you have an automatic, and you can just keep on spraying 12 grams until you finally hit your target. I'd suggest using 20 grams. They are a little bit more expensive, only by a couple dollars, but they're usually better for high quality airsoft guns. Right here I have 12 grams, 20 grams, then I have a random, well not random, they're all 12 grams, but I just have like normal 12 grams, then like see-throughs. The see-through red ones, those aren't good airsoft BBs because they have air bubbles and it makes the BBs lopsided, which means it won't be accurate when you're firing the BB, because since the BB is lopsided, it'll curve the BB to whatever way the weight's at. Glow in the dark, or it came with glow in the dark BBs, and just like light blue and green and that stuff. And also when you're using 12 gram BBs, when you're shooting an enemy, they're probably not going to feel it sometimes, so that's just a tip why 20 grams can sometimes be better, because they could cheat and say they didn't feel it, or they could really be telling the truth and they didn't feel it, because 12 grams don't really have any weight, which means that you usually can't feel it. And for certain guns like my UTG, the shells can only use 20 gram BBs. It can't use biodegradable 20 grams, it can't use 12 grams, it can't use anything but 20 grams, or else the shells will break or jam, and they're a pain in the butt to open up and unjam, which I'm not planning on doing. So for certain guns, certain type of BBs are needed. Like usually this little bonus Colt 25, that was a whole whopping 141 FPS. You're probably going to want to use 12 grams, because for certain reasons, like 20 grams won't do you any good by shooting 5 feet and then dropping. So thanks for watching. It's just a little quick tips about which BBs to use. One last note, if you're just starting airsoft and you have a gun from like 250 FPS or maybe even like 300 FPS or below, and you have a little budget, I would just suggest buying 12 grams, because they're not all that bad. They're just not as good as high quality 20 grams, but 20 grams do cost more. So thanks for watching. Rate, comments, and subscribe.